today I think that we need to think about how to protect the Charles Vallows in the future. I'm going to give you a summation of what I said yesterday. Is he didn't get the right resources afforded to him that should have been afforded to him. The system failed him. He had done the right thing. Obviously, someone had said, try to get her committed for a 3-day or 72-hour evaluation. And he did that. He wrote up, he petitioned the courts to have her taken in to have an intake, which happened. But as we all have seen, they cleared her and they let her go. Those intakes can last about 90 minutes, possibly 2 hours at tops. They don't usually last that long. So can you bluff someone for an hour and a half or 2 hours? Of course you can. So she went in there and she got out. And as I explained to you yesterday, and I explained to you twice today that you won't hear because the video didn't video, she should have been sent in for 72 hours for a complete evaluation where they actually monitor her every word, her every action. They look for extreme behaviors. They look for her affect, what her mood's like. There's a million things they monitor. She gets assessments done when she's in that 72 hours. All that information that they get in that 72 hours gets compiled, gets put before a psychiatrist. And of course, she sees that psychiatrist as well. So he might spend 40, 50 minutes with her, if that. And then with all of the written paperwork that he has before him, and then he makes a decision in front of the judge. And of course, she gets represented with a court-appointed attorney. And the judge makes the decision based on the psychiatrist, based on everything that he had literally put on his desk. People come in and they put the paperwork right on his desk. It's usually a folder. And it has like what med she's on and all that kind of stuff. But the final draw is that's where it failed. I hear people complaining about the police all the time. And yes, that's a part of it. But the real part, when his death sentence got signed was the day Lori Vallow walked out of that Community Bridges facility in Phoenix, Arizona, without being held for 72 hours. That was the stamp of approval. Not that Community Bridges approved Lori killing Charles. But it was the stamp of approval for Lori that she could do anything she wanted, and which we all know she does. So Charles Vallow did everything humanly possible that an educated, bright, very savvy, you could tell in those interviews with the police that his mind was right on. He wasn't an old 62, 63-year-old man. He was a very young 62, 63-year-old man. So at that point, when Community Bridges let her out onto the streets, what they did wrong to Charles at that point is everyone that takes a client in to be brought through an intake has to read the reason why they're doing the intake. And that would have been Charles's written sort of affidavit of what was going on in Lori's life. And that was the committal papers, they called it. And in those committal papers, as you all recall, if you read them, it said that she had delusions and that she believed she was a goddess and that she was belonging to the 144,000 club and that the world was ending and only people that were belonging to the club were going to survive. And he was a zombie. She was going to kill him because now he was Ned Schneider. And if Ned Schneider decided to stop her in any event, that she would do away with him and kill him. So that was all in those committal papers. So the man or woman who read those committal papers actually knew all that, because it wasn't like she just walked in and they didn't have any background. They had Charles's committal papers as the backup. And they still made the decision. It was a 50-50 way. I mean, were they going to believe Laurie or were they going to believe Charles Vallow? He already had a strike against him. He's a man. The other strike against him is it was crazy stuff in those committal papers. But what wasn't against him was how crazy it really was. I mean, how could any clinician think Charles had that kind of imagination, that deviancy, that he could make up such deviant thoughts that Laurie was acting upon and saying she was going to do? There's no way. They should have taken those papers serious. That's my opinion. I am very angry at the system, but I'm not the one to talk about systems that failed, because there's too many. But this leads me to what I am saying. If we reverse the situation, and if it was Laurie coming in to have Charles evaluated to go into a 72-hour hold for further diagnostic evaluation, would Charles had been held in the 72 hours? You bet your bottom dollar. That's where the system fails. We got a man like Charles Vallow, a good dad, father of 2 beautiful young boys, young men, a stepdaughter, beautiful, an adopted son, glorious. I mean, he had everything. He had a good job. He had a good mind. His body wasn't failing him at 62, 63 years old. The guy had the world until his wife went somewhere else. And it doesn't matter where she went, because really the backup to this, the background story doesn't matter. He is dead. JJ and Tylee are missing and purported to be dead by Laurie's best friend. She thinks the most logical, sensible thing is that they are no longer on this planet. That's from Melanie Gibb, Laurie's best friend. And we all think that, but we all have hope, because we're beautiful people. We're not ugly people that are doing this, that are murdering, that are causing mayhem, that are causing heartache worldwide, that is causing Kay and Larry Woodcock. They should be enjoying their older years in their life. They should be sitting wherever they are and enjoying themselves and enjoying their other grandchildren and enjoying every day, getting up and breathing the air. But they can't, because Laurie Vallow has put something on their shoulders that is so tumultuous that no one can wake up with the same beautiful thought processes that we all should have. So with that said, I'm saying to you that I think we need to have afforded to Charles the dignity. I think our resources in YouTube land or wherever, as a YouTube community member, should be able to put together a package that is as beautiful as Charles Vallow, Kylie Ryan, and J.J. Vallow were, in honor of Charles Vallow, because at least we know where he is. So I was wondering if you think that Charles Vallow Day should be July 11th, the day he died. Should we try to make it Charles Vallow Day, the domestic abuse day for people, for men who have been highly violated and then killed? What should we do in honor of Charles Vallow, considering this is the 331st day since he has not been on Earth, since he was ambushed, taken down in cold-blooded murder style by Alex Cox, by Lori Daybell, by Summer Shitlet, by Melanie P. Pawlowski / Boudreaux. I am so angry that this happened. Again, we had the resources to protect Charles. No one protected him. The system closed their doors to him. It's like when a man walks down the service provider street, all the doors close. A woman walks down the service provider street, all the doors open, all the oodles and oodles of federal fundings and programs and entitlements get thrown at her. We wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here sitting here talking to you about this if the system had worked the way it's supposed to do. They're supposed to identify domestic violence. They're supposed to identify that someone's in harm's way, and they're supposed to build that person up to the point that the victim or the prospective victim can get the services that they need. We failed Charles Vallow. Beautiful people, I'm going to close now because I'll go around in circles. But I want to ask you to obviously click the like button, subscribe if you choose. But most importantly, tell me what you think we should do. Should we start a Charles Vallow Day in the United States of America for a very honorable man that got slaughtered, that got shot down and killed under the umbrella of domestic violence?